Testify before the House Oversight Committee this week. Here now on what he will ask Mr. Toyota, Congressman Elijah Cummings is a member of the Oversight Committee. Good morning, Congressman. Good to see you again.
It's good to be with you.
This is going to be interesting. This is always obviously high drama, but we got cultural issues here, real safety issues. How hard are you going to hit them?
I just want him to tell the truth about when Toyota knew about these sudden acceleration problems and exactly what did they do about it. But I'm not just going to be questioning him. I want to look at the Department of Transportation, too, and see what they did with regard to this problem and how long they knew about it. And, you know, there's information has come to our committee that Toyota was complaining that they were worried about too much regulation. Well, the very thing we see here with 8 million Toyotas being recalled, that tells us that apparently even if there was a lot of regulation, those regulations may not have been adhered to and enforced the way they should have been.
Interesting. You know, we got, obviously he's coming here from Japan. We know he was had to be pushed along to come to the hearing. These dealers are big employers who pay a lot of taxes, cover a lot of, give jobs to a lot of Americans. How sensitive is the committee going to be to all of that?
I think that since the committee will be very sensitive to all of that, but the question is do you put lives above money? And from what we have seen from memos that have been circulating at Toyota, it seems like they were bragging about the fact that they were able to avoid certain recalls and saved $100 million. Well, a life is you know, you just can't put a value on life. And the other thing that we're concerned about is that, you know, we haven't heard them say we're sorry yet.
Is that important to you?
Oh, that's important to me because you've got a situation where our constituents, many of whom are going through very difficult times now, go out and spend $15,000, $20,000 or more for an automobile, and they expect to be safe in that automobile. Well, when Toyota found out about the sticking accelerator issue or the speeding up of the car when the foot was off the accelerator, they started hearing about this in 2003. And they only made a recall of 55,000 cars. And now, after, sadly, there was a very, very tragic accident in the fall of 2009, yeah. Now we're up to 8 million cars. So that began to, you know, wonder at what point did Toyota know that there was a serious problem, and why didn't they do more about it? And these memos seem to indicate that they put money over life. So we will be sensitive, right, but not at the cost of seeing our constituents be harmed by a vehicle which they gave their blood, sweat, and tears to purchase. We're
also here with Don Marin and Larry Bonsky. The lessons here, Larry, for just on a corporate level are myriad, right?
They are. You know, I think J&J set the tone a couple decades ago. When they had a problem with Tylenol, they got out in front of it, and right, they took all kinds of precaution in terms of its consumers, and they gained share.
Yeah.
This is a tone from the top issue. Either you try to submerge these things or you proactively root them out and correct them. I think Toyota, unfortunately, is a victim of not being proactive in this respect, and as a consequence, they're going to lose some share. Their image, which was once pure, is going to be blemished, and maybe it's good news for Ford and GM, but it's certainly good news for Hyundai. Yeah, because they've got good vehicles and they've got good safety records.
One of the things that we have to keep in mind, too, is this wasn't like a paint job gone bad. This is something that they knew could bring harm to people, could literally be the cause of death. And based upon what Jay just said, you would think that they would go overboard to make sure that they did the recalls, that they looked at the accelerator pedals very carefully back in 2003. Now we're in 2010, and I'll tell you another thing that's probably going to happen, because we've gotten some calls in our office of people who, once they heard about it, this accelerator problem, I said, you know, Mr. Cummings, we had a problem a year ago or 2 years ago, and we just didn't think anything of it. But now we are concerned.
Don?
Yeah, you know, one thing, Congressman, separate from all the issues of management, is recalling 8 million cars is a problem in this country. How many will actually get recalled? What are you and what is Toyota going to do about making sure that all these people bring their cars in and get them fixed?
Well, we're gonna work with our Department of Transportation and Toyota to try to work that out. First, we've got to know the extent of the full extent of the problem. Keep in mind that there are a number of these vehicles that are suffering from these problems that aren't even a part of the recall right now.
Right.
So we're going to work closely with the Department of Transportation, but we want to make sure that the National Transportation Safety Administration is doing what they are supposed to do. And now I hope that's the case now, but we need to figure all of that out. And so I think the hearing will open the door to us getting the information that we need and then working with Toyota. We want Toyota to do well, but like was said a few minutes ago, in business, you've got to produce a good product. That's what competition is all about.
Yeah. Speaking of competition, we all know about the government's interest in some U.S. automakers. Is Toyota going to be treated any differently because of that?
I don't think so. You know, I was a little bit insulted when I read this morning in one of the national newspapers that they were concerned that the committee was so anxious to help GM and Ford that they might be very hard on Toyota. Nothing could be further from the truth. Keep in mind that we've got I think about 170,000 employees in this country, Americans who work on these cars, these Toyota cars. We want to see them stay employed.
Yeah.
And as was said a minute ago, these are decisions that come from the top. I think that when the hearing comes forth on Wednesday, we will see that there were decisions that were made at the very top. And these workers, these 170,000 workers here in our country, it's no fault of their own. So we're going to have to figure all of this out. It's a little complicated, but I think we're on the right path. And I'm anxious to get Toyota back. I'm anxious to see them earn their trust again.
Right.
Anybody knows that in business or any relationship, if you lose trust, you got a major problem.
How's your Japanese?
Not very good.
Some of these translations going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes this
I'll
week.
do the best I can with what I got.
Arigato. Thank you very much, Congressman.
Thank you.
Congressman Elijah Cummings.
Okay.
It's the only word I know.